Good day everyone, my name is Jessica Bataller, an English major, and today I'm here in front of you to talk about a topic or poem, a lyrical poem in English literature which is entitled The Passionate Shepherd and His Love, written by Christopher Marlowe. But first, we will gonna define what is the meaning of passionate. So, passionate is defined by Oxford Dictionary as showing or causing by strong feelings or strong belief. It is also showing or caused by intense feelings of sexual love. So, we will proceed to the meaning of a lyrical poem, which is the genre of this poem, Passionate Shepherd of His Love. So, lyrical poem defined as a musically inclined, short burst that speaks on poignant and powerful emotions. So, alright, to get it, what is a lyrical poem, we will proceed to the next slide, which is the objective. Objective is the expected learnings that you will get in my lesson. So here we have a 5 objectives that you expected to learn in my lesson. So first, you will determine the types of literary devices. Next, you will know the background of Middle Ages. Third, you will know who is Christopher Marlowe. Fourth, you will understand and familiarize the poem, The Passionate Shepherd to His Love. And the last, you will state and analyze the literary devices that is used in the poem, The Passionate Shepherd and His Love. But first, we will define what is the Middle Ages. So, the Middle Ages are introduction to the Middle Ages. So, Middle Ages. It is the phrase Middle Ages tells us more about the Renaissance that followed it that and thus about the era itself. Starting around the 14th century, European thinkers, writers, and artists began to look back and celebrate the art and culture of ancient Greece. Accordingly, they dismissed the period after the fall of Rome as a middle or even dark, in which no scientific accomplishments had been made, no great art produced, no great leaders. The people of Middle Ages had squandered the advancement of predecessors. This argument went and mired themselves instead in what 18th century English historian Edward Gibbon called barbarism and religion. So in this slide, you will know what is the introduction of Middle Ages, where it is called as Dark Ages. So, alright, we will proceed to the next slide, which is the all about the Passionate Shepherd to His Love. When you will know when was it published and why Christopher Marlowe came up to this poem. The Passionate Shepherd to His Love was published, or at least part of it was in 1599 in a hodgepodge poetry collection called The Passionate Pilgrim. But people who have spent decades in libraries studying Marlowe's book that think that it was likely written in the late 1580s, a few years before his death. This placed the composition of the poem somewhere near the beginning of Marlowe's career, definitely before he became a big shot in Renaissance theater world. It is a pastoral poem, meaning it is set in an idealized version of the countryside, where life is good and the air is sweet. So before, this poem, The Passionate Shepherd, is a pastoral poem, not a lyrical poem. So he changes afterwards when he became known in Renaissance theater. So next, we will proceed to who is Christopher Marlowe. So Christopher Marlowe, born on February 6, 1564, in Canterbury, United Kingdom. He died on May 30, 1593, Deptford, United Kingdom. His movement is only English Renaissance, and his nicknames are Kit, Markard, Mercury, the Muses, which is he was named as Darling.
Come live with me and be my love, and we will all the pleasures prove that valleys, groves, hills, and fields, woods or steepy mountain yields. And we will sit upon the rocks, seeing the shepherds feed their flocks, by shallow rivers to whose falls melodious birds sing madrigals. And I will make thee beds of roses, and 1,000 fragrant posies, a cap of flowers and a kirtle, embroidered all with leaves of myrtle. A gown made of the finest wool, which from our pretty lambs we pull. Fair lined slippers for the cold, with buckles of the purest gold. A belt of straw and ivy buds, with coral clasps and amber studs. And if these pleasures may thee move, come live with me and be my love. The shepherd's swains shall dance and sing for thy delight each May morning. If these delights thy mind may move, then live with me and be my love.
So now let's proceed to the summary interpretation of the poem, The Shepherd, the Passionate Shepherd of His Love. So in first stanza, come live with me and be my love, and we will all the pleasures prove that valleys, groves, hills, and fields, woods, or steepy mountain yields. So the shepherd promised to his love that if she will live with him and be his love, she will all have valleys, groves, hills, and fields, woods, or steepy mountain yields. So, in the next stanza, the second, it is said as, and we will sit upon the rocks, seeing the shepherds feed their flocks, by shallow rivers to whose falls, melodious birds sings madrigals. So, in this stanza, the shepherd promised to his love that they will sit upon the rocks. They will see shepherds which fed their flocks, and a shallow rivers which falls, and a melodious birds that sings madrigals. So in third stanza, it says as, and I will make thee beds of roses, and 1,000 fragrant voices, and a cup of flowers, and a kirtle, embroidered all with leaves of myrtle. So in this stanza, the shepherd promised to his love that he will make a thee beds of roses, 1,000 fragrant voices, a cup of flowers, a kirtle, and a dress that embroidered with leaves of myrtle, if she will be with him and be his love. So in fifth stanza, it is says as a belt of straw and ivy buds, with coral claps and amber studs. And if these pleasures may thee move, come live with me and be my love. So the shepherd promised to his love a belt of straw and ivy buds, with coral claps and amber studs. And if these pleasures may thee move, she will have this kind of things that the shepherd wants to give to him. So she will only possess these things if she will live with him and be his love. On the sixth stanza, it is says as, the shepherd's swain shall dance and sing for thy delight each May morning. If these delights thy mind may move, then live with me and be my love. So the shepherd promised to his love that they will every day they will dance, they will sing, and every morning they will experience delight and peace of mind if his love will be with him and be his love. So now we will proceed to the themes of the poem. So there are three themes in this poem, which is beauty, hope, and nature. So it says that the poet expresses his true love for his significant other, the love which he describes offer merriment, joy, and excitement. The choice of words, however, suggests that he hopes to spend his entire life with his beloved in the lap of nature. So now we will finish in the discussion of the themes. And now we will proceed to the literary devices that has in this poem. So we will define what is literary devices first. So literary devices are the techniques that writers use to create a special and pointed effect in the writing, to convey information, or to help readers to understand the writing on a deeper level. Often, literary devices are used in writing for emphasis or clarity, like the Passionate Shepherd of His Love, which is a lyrical poem. So now we will proceed to the main topic of our literary devices, which is found in this poem. So first literary devices is the enjambment. Enjambment refers to the continuation of a line or a verse without a pause in a couplet or stanza. For example, in second stanza, by shallow rivers to whose falls, melodious birds sings madrigal. So what you observe, there's no pause in here, so that's why it is called an enjambment. So next literary devices is assonance. Assonance is defined as the repetition of vowel sounds in the same line, such as the sounds of a. The example here is the fifth stanza. It says, with coral claps and umbered stads. The repetition here is the ko and kla and a. It is the repetition of the vowel sounds here. So the next literary devices is the symbolism. Symbolism is using symbols to signify ideas and qualities, giving them symbolic meanings different from literary meanings. So the example on the poem is the word roses. So roses is symbolized as a love, beauty, and desire. The country referred by the shepherd symbolizes the peace, tranquility, and never-ending hope. So the next literary devices is alliteration. So alliteration defined as a repetition of consonant sound. This is the opposite of the literary devices, which is the assonance. Assonance is the vowel sounds, while the alliteration is the consonant sounds. So the example in the poem is the first stanza. It says, and we will all the pleasures prove, and the sound of sh and s, the shepherd's swain shall dance and sings. The repetition of sound sh and s is the alliteration that found in this stanza. So now let's proceed to the next literary devices, which is the imagery. But first, imagery defined as a use to make the readers perceive things, which involve their five senses. So the example in the poem is the first stanza. That valleys, grove, hills, and fields, a gown made of finest wool, and a belt of straw and ivy buds. So the senses that was used here is the sense of feeling and the sense of sight. So the next literary devices that was used is metaphor. So metaphor is defined as a figure of speech when comparing between different objects. For example, is the second stanza in the poem. Melodious bird sings madrigals. The speaker compares the song of a bird to poems that are set to music. So the last literary devices that was seen in the poem is the hyperbole. Hyperbole defined as a device used to exaggerate a statement for the sake of emphasis. The poet has used hyperbole in the lines 9, which is the third stanza, to show how far he can go for his love. This is the stanza. And I will make thee beds of roses and 1,000 fragrant voices. So it was a exaggerated statement that the shepherd used to make his love fall in love with him.